Welcome to Mission Ignition, a new leadership development podcast from Catalyzer and Catalyzer Media, organized to introduce you to our team and approach to igniting leadership growth in your organization. I'm Steve Ingalls, President and CEO at Catalyzer, and we're excited to share another episode with you. Just rolling up casually on a scene seems like a really bad social awareness practice. What would you say about that, Justin?
No, you're right. I think to have mentally prepared for it, when we talk about the slowing down is not like physical slowing down, it's mentally slowing down a little bit to make sure you're checking the right pieces, but you do have to be in that state of awareness. But when you've gone through and mentally prepared for any number of circumstances, there's not the unknown decisions that have to be made. If you've, as personnel have thought through that, and from the line deputy up through their supervision, have thought through what the roles are. And obviously, when that happens on a daily basis, there's redundancy and they build that up. It's looking at the situations that happen with low frequency and mentally going through the different things that could happen. You've been able to kind of weigh through those decisions before it happens. And I think that's kind of what you're describing. I remember as a young deputy always being amazed that you would have, you'd have an in-progress call. And he worked around some other young officers. And what did you do when that call got toned out? You all raced right to the problem. And you looked at what we called the old timers back then, and would say, well, they're just not in quite as much a hurry. Well, they were actually thinking through the things that are going to happen. And they're not thinking about where it happened. They're thinking down the road. Okay, if we had this kind of an incident, the suspect likely went this direction. They're not as interested in racing into it. But they're thinking about the other things that need to happen, and from experience, the likelihood of things. And I think it's a little bit more playing chess with it. You're thinking ahead. Now, again, we're talking an active shooter. You got to get to the active shooter, but as a team, these are all team activities. There needs to be other things going on for that first team to do what they need to do. They need others solving the problems further out in the circle for them so they can focus inside, if that makes sense.
Thanks again for joining us on Mission Ignition. We hope you'll tune in again soon and make this one of your go-to sources for plain, practical thinking around the contemporary issues you, your leaders, and your organization are dealing with. In the meantime, please check us out on our website at www.teamcatalyzer.com and on LinkedIn. Remember, regardless of what business you're in, we're all primarily in the people business. Now time to get out there and ignite some great.